Have you ever wondered if God hears and answers prayers? I'm living proof that He 100% without a shadow of a doubt does. So this past weekend, I drove to Michigan legally as I now got my license. I passed my road test and I drove to Michigan and I met my birth mother for the first time in my life. So I was born in 1978 and I was born in Korea. Then at the age of 1, my father, who was American, he was stationed there in the Army, he came back to the United States and he brought me back with him. And my mother decided that she didn't want to come to the States, but they decided that it would be a better life, a better chance at a good life for me if I was to come here. So for my entire life, I had no contact with her, and I had always, wanted to know her, but I had never known how to get in contact, and I had never really thought that it was possible to do so. But if I go back just a little bit over 2 years ago, I was in jail, and that was when I decided I was going to basically turn my life around, and I said that I was going to, put my addiction behind me, and I was going to put all my love and my trust into God and put God first place in my life. And by doing so, I started praying and I started having a relationship with God, started reading the Bible, started doing the things that I had to do in order to get close to God, in order to have Him be in my life the way that I wanted Him in my life. So by doing that, I started praying, and I had a prayer that I wanted to meet my mother. That if at all possible, I don't know if she's alive. I don't know if she's in Korea. I don't know if she wants to meet me. I don't know any of these things. I have no idea about any of these things. But I just started praying like I would love to meet my mother. I really, really would love to know the person that I came from, and I'd love to know more about how I am the person that I am, why I have the heart that I have, why I have the soul that I have, the brain that I have, the mind that I have, why I have all these things. And I really just always wanted to meet her and get to know her. So earlier this year, I had filled out the Ancestry DNA kit. And then the kit came back and it said I had a half sister, possibly a niece or a half sister, it said. So I contacted on there and come to find out, yep, as my half sister. Her name's Anna. And I started talking to her on the phone, and then we started doing video chats. And then we started conversating, almost weekly and getting to know her. And it was amazing. I could just tell the kind of person that she was. So by knowing the person that she was, it really made me think that the person that my mother was the person that I always dreamt that she would be. And this past weekend, I got to go to Michigan, drive to Michigan legally in my car, not my car, but the rental car that we rented, because I have my license now, because I passed my test by the grace of God. And we got to drive to Michigan and go meet my mother. And let me tell you that it was me and my fiance, Tanya, which we're getting married this weekend coming up. So we got to go meet my mother. Now I'm going to get married. Back-to-back weekends. Meet my mother for the first time. Now get married. And it's pretty amazing, right? But it's all by the grace of God. Praise God. Like all glory to God all day, every day. That's where it comes from. And that's how I'm able to do all these things and have all these amazing things that are happening in my life. So, but going and meeting my mother, it was literally like a dream come true. It was something out of fairy tales. I really I felt so loved from her, and I felt so welcomed and comfortable. Like it was incredible in every way. It was like the happiest that I've ever been. It really, really was. Like I felt complete being around her. I felt like she just, the way that she was, just the care that she had for me and the love that I felt from her, it was incredible. And also from my sister, it was absolutely amazing. Like you could just tell, like the way that these people are, it's the way that I am, the way that my family is, it's the way that I am. And now I understand more about how I am the person that I am. And it was just an amazing, amazing, amazing feeling. And I can't get over it. But the whole thing is that it took me, 46 years to get there. Like my mom, she told me that she thought that I would find her, when I turned 18, that she thought that I would come and find her. But the whole thing is by the time I was 18, I was already enthralled in an addiction. And then, my addictions just progressively got worse and worse, but there was always something there that was prohibiting me from doing anything necessarily to better myself. I was just always caught up in every day actions every day, like just trying to get by, survival mode, being an addict, survival mode that you go in being an addict. That's what my life was. I couldn't really think about the future. I couldn't really think about trying to find my mother, and because I wasn't a person that would be ready to meet her because of the life I was always living. I couldn't be the person I needed to be for her. Not that she wouldn't have been there for me, because I realize now, especially, that she always would have been there for me. I just was never able to be that person that could go and do that. So it's just amazing now that just in this short amount of time, just getting clean and being sober for this short amount of time, and by having God be so prevalent in my life, by giving my life to God, by putting God first place in my life every day, that I'm able to make that happen and go have that time with my mother and get to know her and be the person that she was hoping I would be, I guess is a way to say that. And she definitely was everything I ever thought that she would be, ever wanted her to be, and so much more, as well as my sister was the same. And it was so amazing. Like, I can't even tell you how amazing that feels, and how much that it means to have them be in my life now the way that is. And just to know that I'm never going to let them down. I'm never going to revert back to my addiction to where I'm going to have to make them feel bad, or I'm going to have to, there's going to be none of that, because I'm going to be this person that puts God first place in my life, first and foremost. And then my addiction is never going to creep up back in my life. It's never going to be a part of my life again. That's behind me. The person I am now is a God-loving person, a person that puts God first place in his life. And just by doing that now, my life will always be good. And it's always going to be where it needs to be, in order for me to be the person that I need to be, in order to be a part of my mother's life, in order to be part of my sister's life, in order to be part of my brother's life, in order to have a family in my life. Because when you're an addict, you don't have time for families. You don't have time for anything except for your addiction. That's all that you care about. That's all that matters. That's all that you have time for. And other people that are in addiction, that's all you can surround yourself with, because A, you're embarrassed about your addiction. B, you don't want to be around anybody who's not using, because like, that does nothing for you to be around people that aren't using. You don't want them to watch you use, and you don't want to it doesn't work. So that becomes everything, is being around just people who are addicts, and you have no time for family, no time for loved ones, no time for anything else but your addiction. So I would have never been able to make that trip to Michigan. Me and my fiance were talking, like, if we went there, we were on drugs, we'd be like trying to sneak off, use drugs, it just would have been terrible. But no, we were able to be there. We were able to be fully present while we were there. We were able to just, they loved us. They loved having us around. They said such nice things. So my mother gave us such a huge blessing for being, like, it just all was so amazing. Like, I can't even believe it. Like, it was everything I ever dreamed it would be. And it didn't happen until the age of 46. But the whole thing is, it could not have happened at any other time. This is the time that it was meant to happen. It's all in God's timing, and God is restoring all these things that I lost from my life, that I had missing from my life because of my addiction. But he's given them back to me now. And it's just amazing. And I'm so excited for my future. And I'm so excited to see what I'm going to accomplish by putting God first place in my life, by making my life be about living a life that's pleasing to him in every way. That's all I want to do, is be good and just put God first place. And just by doing that, I know I'm going to have a great life going forward. So thank you for watching this. I appreciate you all. Please like, comment, share, anything you guys can do. I really want for my life to be a full example of how to, put your addiction behind you, by putting God first place in your life. I know I keep saying that, putting God first place in your life, but that's exactly what I'm doing. It's God first, then like my fiance, my daughter, everything second, but it's God first. That part has to be first. That's the only way that this all works. It's the only way I have all this strength to be over my addiction, and to know that my addiction will never creep back up on me, that I have no fear of ever going back to that. I have zero fear of that. And it's only because I have God first place in my life that I can say that's the only reason. So, but I really want my life to be an example for everyone, to show what having God in your life, what living your life for God, what that does for your life, what that can do for your life, and what can happen for your life. So hopefully I can help others to change from their addictions, and by putting God into their lives, by incorporating God into their lives, by having a relationship with God, that their addictions too can fall away as other things start falling away. You know, after that, cigarettes, vaping, all those other things have fallen away from me as well. Just by having God be prevalent in my life, just by living my life for God, all those other things fall away too that are bad for you. So I don't know. I really, really hope that this can reach some people and show them, you know, what is possible and what you can do and what it's like to have excitement for life, what it's like to have excitement for a future of living a good life, not excitement for, oh, I'm going to get high today, that kind of excitement, but excitement for, oh, I want to see what I can accomplish today. I want to see what good I can do in the world today. I want to see, you know, whose people's lives I can touch in a positive way today, not all the things that come along from being an addict. I don't want any of that. And I hope that addicts can see that this is a much better way for living, and that they too can change their lives, and they too can transform and have a new life in the future. So I love you all. God bless. Remember, as nice as it is to be important, it is way more important to be nice. God bless you.